Hi, good morning everybody. Jeri Williams, founder and CEO of Smooth Accounting. You'll know who I am. Today I'm going to be reviewing the GoProposal Podcast, episode 1. So this one is You Are a Business First and Foremost. Smooth Accounting has been using GoProposal for years now, and it genuinely is one of the best pieces of software that exists in the accountancy world. So I'm super excited to listen to what James Ashford and Heather Elkington from GoProposal have to say. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Firm Up. I'm your host, Heather Elkington, and I'm joined for this entire first series by James Ashford. James founded GoProposal alongside being the director of a successful accountancy practice.
So just on that point, James Ashford was the first person that I spoke to from GoProposal all those years ago, and he not only taught me about the software and why I should use it, but he taught me so much about pricing and how I should be delivering my services to our clients. Changed loads of things, so I'm always really excited to listen to anything that James has to say.
Good morning, Mr. Ashford.
Morning, Heath.
I'm going to kick us off with a story. So,
I love that he called her Heath. Obviously, he would do that anyway because they're really close, and obviously I think actually James and Heather are related. But don't hold me to that, like just in case they're not. I love that he said that. It just makes you want to like listen more, doesn't it?
You're my uncle. My dad's brother.
Oh, my uncle.
And so
Dad's brother.
If I started from when we first met, it would be a very long time ago, and I don't think I could remember it. So I'm going to start us off with the way our business relationship and partnership came about, which was quite funny. So we were at the races for my something's birthday, I can't remember it now, 5 years ago. And we'd had a few drinks and everyone was having fun. And I let you know that I was moving up to Manchester with my partner at the time. And the first thing he said was, I've got a job going. You turned your chair around and put me under some serious pressure.
In front of everyone.
In front of everyone.
That's so unlike James to put people under pressure. I love that. And I met Heather at ZeroCon. Gosh, I want to say 2019. Yeah, she's absolutely lovely, as you would expect.
And everything does come with a cost, by the way. Anything worthwhile pursuing, anything that you want to achieve and grow, there is always a cost attached to that. And you have to ask yourself, am I prepared to pay that cost? So with the growth of GoProposal, and I don't think I've been asked this, or I certainly don't talk about it much. It was obviously hard and a lot of graft of getting to where I wanted to get to, but it wasn't crazy. Like, I was around my family a lot. I was present and there for my children a lot. So I could have taken it further. I could have grown it more before we sold it, etc. But that would have come at a cost. And I was actually comfortable with the balance that I had.
I love that James talks about this because I talk about this a lot, and that always something has to give. It's either your money or it's your time. Like this, there will be, like James says, a cost. You weigh it up. As a business owner, you weigh up what is most important, and my business has gone through stages in its growth journey where in the first few years, I definitely put way more time and effort into it because I was growing it from scratch, and I was happy to do that. I was having this conversation the other day with my academy for accountants in one of our coaching sessions. I was saying, don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of giving it your everything if that's what you want. And everybody wants something different. You have to do what's right for you. What was right for me was to do that, put all that effort in. I was still around my family as well, but I definitely worked way more than I wanted to sustain long term. So then years ago, when I made the decision to not do that anymore, that was a conscious choice, and ever since then I have worked very little. And I could work a lot more now, have less staff. I could work full time, for example, have less staff and earn a lot more money, but I don't want to do that. So it's like what James is saying about before he sold GoProposal. I think that's a really important thing for business owners to consider. How much effort you put in generally will determine how quickly you'll grow and kind of how much money you'll earn along the way.
But there's one thing that really makes me feel emotional and I just start crying, is when I see a golden buzzer pressed on Britain's Got Talent, right? Or something like that. So you'll have a kid or an adult going on there to sing or to dance or whatever it is that they're going to do. And you can imagine they've been practicing this in the bedroom for years and doubted themselves and questioned themselves. And now they've put themselves on this stage in front of lots of people and up for judgment as well. And they've gone and done this, and they've got all this doubt and all this insecurity that we all carry with us. And then someone has hit that golden buzzer on them. Mm-hmm. And there's like Susan Boyle, for example, it's got millions of views. I must be responsible for 1 million of those. But just someone who doubted themselves, and someone hits that golden buzzer, and just that you know, the showering down of the gold sprinkles, and you watch them like literally fall to the floor crying, and it's such a release for them. It's someone saying you are good enough. And so when I think about what I do that lights me up the most is creating GoProposal, creating a company where we can create the space for people to work for us, where we can unlock them and release them.
And what James is talking about there, and obviously the like X Factor thing with the golden buzzer, I totally get what he's saying. And, you know, now having a team of people myself, and made mistakes over the years with being an employer, like to think we've definitely got it a lot better now, and giving people fully flexible working and treating people like grown-ups and adults and trusting them to do a good job has enabled them to flourish. And that's what James is talking about with the team in GoProposal and what they've done. And again, that's so important. You know, I trust them and I encourage them to be their best selves, and that's what I want, because by being their best selves, they make smooth accounting so much better, way better than I could ever make it. So, you know, I think a lot of it comes down to trust, and I do think that's important, and probably what James is also referring to there.
And his feedback to me was the moment that I lifted my blindfold off and realised I was on the edge of a cliff. And he was an astute business owner, and he was able to show to me how we'd spread ourselves far too thin, how we wasn't charging enough, how we had no control of our finances, how we were making all these huge mistakes, and how within the next few months we were going to go bust. And it was like, and at that point, I'd lost the enthusiasm for the business. It never felt like a business because it was reliant upon me. And looking back now, I could have pulled us out of that nosedive, but I didn't have the knowledge at the time, and I couldn't pull myself out of that nosedive.
Yeah, and you know, the business being too reliant on you as a business owner, I cannot express how hard you make your life when you do that. I think we all do it. I certainly did it. We all do it in the early years, but you need to have a vision and a way out of that by making really good business decisions that you will eventually come out of that and move yourself away from the business. You know, I didn't want a business that was reliant on me. I didn't want a job effectively. I wanted to have a business, and my business is over there and I'm over here. And I teach people this in my academy as well, and it's really, really important. Like, what is your vision from getting from where you are now to getting to that place? I wanted to make myself fully redundant from the business. I hate it when there's anything that needs me. Anything, even the smallest thing, I will try and find a way for it not to need me, because I don't want to be needed by my business. I want to work on it when I want to, and that's a choice. I don't want to have to. And, you know, so I think that's such a valid point. I genuinely absolutely love this podcast. There's so much valuable information. James has got a wealth of knowledge, and like I said earlier, I love listening to anything he's got to say. If you are a small business owner, accountant or bookkeeper, you 100% need to listen to this podcast. You can listen to the Firm Up podcast on all the usual platforms, and also go on to GoProposal's YouTube channel and subscribe so that you don't miss future episodes. Hope you've enjoyed this.